You shall make an altar of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar shall be square. Its height shall be 3 cubits. You shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horn shall be of one piece with it, and you shall overlay it with bronze. Also you should make its pans to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its forks, and its fire pans. You shall make all its utensils of bronze. You shall make a grate for it, a network of bronze, and on the network you shall make 4 bronze rings at its 4 corners. You shall put it under the rim of the altar beneath, that the network may be midway up the altar. And you shall make poles for the altar, poles of acacia wood, and overlay them with bronze. The poles shall be put in the rings, and the poles shall be on the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. You shall make it hollow with boards, as it was shown you on the mountain, so shall they make it. Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and blue and purple and scarlet thread, with artistic designs of cherubim. You shall weave them. The length of each curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have the same measurements. 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another. The other 5 curtains shall be coupled to one another. And you shall make loops of the yarn on the edge of the curtain on the outer edge of one set, and likewise you should do on the outer edge of the other curtain of the second set. 50 loops you shall make in the one curtain, and 50 loops you shall make on the edge of the curtain that is on the end of the second set, that the loops may be clasped to one another. And you shall make 50 clasps of gold, and couple the curtains together with the clasps, so that it may be one tabernacle. You shall also make curtains of goat hair to be a tent over the tabernacle. You shall make 11 curtains. The length of each curtain shall be 30 cubits, the width of each curtain 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall all have the same measurements. And you shall couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and you shall double over the 6th curtain at the forefront of the tent. You shall make 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that is outermost in one set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain of the second set. And you shall make 50 bronze clasps. Put the clasps into the loops and couple the tent together, that it may be one. The remnant that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. And a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of what remains of the length of the curtains of the tent shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. You shall also make a covering of ram skins dyed red for the tent, and a covering of badger skins above that. You shall also make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side there shall be hangings for the court made of fine woven linen, 100 cubits long for one side. And its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets shall be bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands shall be silver. Likewise, along the length of the north side there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, with its 20 pillars and their 20 sockets of bronze, and the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. And along the width of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, with their 10 pillars and their 10 sockets. The width of the court on the east side shall be 50 cubits. The hangings on one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. And on the other side shall be hangings of 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. For the gate of the court there shall be a screen 20 cubits long, woven of blue, purple, and scarlet thread and fine woven linen, made by a weaver. It shall have 4 pillars and 4 sockets. All the pillars around the court shall have bands of silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of bronze. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, the width 50 throughout, and the height 5 cubits, made of fine woven linen, and its sockets of bronze. All the utensils of the tabernacle for all its service, all its pegs and all the pegs of the court shall be of bronze.
Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh. Baha Shem Yahweh Shah, Baha Shem Rachakodash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Whomever you may be, wherever you may be, Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. All right, we're in Exodus chapter 27. It says plans for the altar of burnt offering. All right, and you have a precept here leading to another chapter. Pretty much the same thing. All right. Exodus chapter 38 leads to. All right, so let's go. So it says, verse 1 says, using acacia wood, construct a square altar, 7.5 feet wide, 7.5 feet long, and 4.5 feet high. All right, 7.5 feet wide, 7.5 feet long. All right, so equal on each of its sides, and then 4.5 feet high. So from off the ground upwards. All right, 4.5 feet high. All right, so it says, which you can pretty much, well, I mean, I'm a pretty short person. All right, I'm probably about 5. Couldn't see, I could be more than 5'5" to the max. So I'm 5'4", 5'5". All right, so 4.5 feet. All right, I don't know. It might be chest height, maybe, possibly somewhere around there. All right, but you know your own height. You know, if you know what your own height is, you can generalize. You know this, and then 7.5 feet long. So it wasn't super huge. This area here. All right, it wasn't super huge, or super tall, but it was a good portion. All right. So it says, make horns for each of its 4 corners, so that the horns and altar are all one piece. Overlay the altar with bronze. Okay, overlay the altar with bronze. So now we have a different element being overlaid, because before it was acacia wood overlaid with gold, or it was pure gold. Now we have something made of acacia wood but overlaid with bronze. All right, and we're dealing with the plans of the altar of burnt offering. All right, so it says, make horns for each of its 4 corners, so that the horns and altar are all one piece. Overlay the altar with bronze. Make ash buckets, shovels, basins, meat forks, and fire pans, all of bronze. All right. It says, make a bronze grating for it and attach 4 bronze rings in its 4 corners. Install the grating halfway down the side of the altar under the ledge. For carrying the altar, make poles from acacia wood and overlay them with bronze. All right. So we've seen this structure used before. Okay. Where the rings would be set and then the poles would be set in the rings. All right. So to pick it up and carry it. Okay. It says, here it is right here. Insert the poles through the rings on the 2 sides of the altar. The altar must be hollow, made from planks. Build it just as you were shown on the mountain. Notice how this keeps popping up. That's why we keep mentioning over and over. These are things that you would see in their heavens, right? So we were given a reflection, a mirror of those things here on the earth. The specifications we have to follow are very specific, all right? So we have to follow those things to a T. So it says plans for the courtyard. Then make the courtyard for the tabernacle enclosed with curtains made of finely woven linen. On the south side, make the curtains 150 feet long. I believe I showed this in the last video. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to put it in there, but it's okay because it's all the same thing. All right. So, but let's keep going. And, it should have been in the video, the opening video here. So it says, on the south side, make the curtains 150 feet long. They will be held up by 20 posts set securely in 20 bronze bases. Hang the curtains with silver hooks and rings. Make the curtains the same on the north side, 150 feet of curtains held up by 20 posts set securely in bronze bases. Hang the curtains with silver hooks and rings. The curtains on the west end of the courtyard will be 75 feet long, supported by 10 posts set into 10 bases. All right. The east end of the courtyard, the front, will also be 75 feet long. So there we go. There's my answer from the last one. All right. Because it says the east end of the courtyard, the front will also be 75 feet long. Right. Because I was mentioning something that was at the end of the last chapter there. Right. So it says the courtyard entrance will be on the east end, flanked by 2 curtains. The curtain on the right side will be 22.5 feet long, supported by 3 posts set into 3 bases. The curtain on the left side will also be 22.5 feet long, supported by 3 posts set into 3 bases. For the entrance to the courtyard, make a curtain that is 30 feet long. Make it from finely woven linen and decorate it with beautiful embroidery in blue, purple, and scarlet thread, supported with 4 posts, each securely set in its own base. All the posts around the courtyard must have silver rings and hooks and bronze bases. So the entire courtyard would be 150 feet long and 75 feet wide. And once again, I'm not, great with measurements, but for those of us that are, we probably have a greater understanding of how, big or how long 150 feet long would be. Or, what you can do is type into, Google or whatever, and, ask Google, exactly what 100, or, like show an example, like of a building, something that's 150 feet long. And you're like, okay, I see how this looks. So this would be, so you can get a more general idea, if you feel, necessary to do that. It says made from finely woven linen. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's see what, if we can pull 150 feet long and web search it. Go to images. So this is 150 feet tall. So they will be upwards. We want long, but upwards could still work. Because if you, okay, I was, so we'll just go back up there. So whatever this building is, let's pull it up. I actually don't know what this is. I don't see it. But whatever structure this is, it looks like a clock tower, unless that's just glass. And then a bell tower. No, that's not a clock. Below it, that's just looks like it's just glass, but there's the bell tower. So however tall this structure would be, if we knew what it was, we can make a bigger point. But you get however tall this structure is. Think about this same structure laid down on this side. That's how long the tabernacle would have been. All right. So once again, like I said, you can just do more looking into it. See here it is. Let's see what you can see here. 150 feet is about the length of 3 semi-trailer trucks. You see, parked end to end. There you go. Excuse me. And we all seen, these semi trucks, right? So parked end to end, 3 of these back to back. All right, touching end to end. So next time you see one, you'll think about it as like, okay, yeah. So this is how big, the tabernacle would have been, which really isn't extremely huge, but it's still a good, actually a big, huge building. All right. And then it went on to say what, 75 feet wide. So think about that. All right. Since 75 is what, half of that. 75 plus 75 is 150. Yeah. So yeah. So 1.5 semi trucks parked end to end. All right. That gives you the width of it. So there you go. Perspective. Excuse me. It says made from finely woven linen. The basis for the post will be made of bronze. All the articles used in the rituals of the tabernacle, including all the tent pegs used to support the tabernacle and the courtyard curtains, must be made of bronze. Then it goes on to say light for the wow, okay. I didn't even check how many scriptures were in this chapter here. But you see how quickly we got through this chapter here. All right, because it's really mostly just reading. There's a precept. Let's see what this Leviticus 24 and 1 through 4. Yahweh said to Moses, command the people of Israel to bring you pure oil of pressed olives for the light, to keep the lamps burning continually. All right. This is the lampstand that stands in the tabernacle in front of the inner curtain that shields the ark of the covenant. Aaron must keep the lamps burning. Wait a minute. For those guys out there that say they're perfect in the law. All right. Well, this is commanded that we constantly to keep it. We don't even have a physical building. And there's not one mentioned in the scriptures. The third temple is spiritual, but I'm making the point. We don't have a physical third temple building. So you can't, and you're probably not even a Levite, so you can't constantly burn this candlestick. Come on, man. In front of the inner curtain that shields the Ark of the Covenant, Aaron must keep the lamps burning in Yahweh's presence all night. This is a permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to where? To generation, which means even now in real time. See? Aaron and the priest. See, when you say things like that, you confound yourself. All right? That's all you do. You make yourself look like a fool. Okay? Because none of us are perfect. Even the scriptures say that our righteousness is as filthy rags, man. So how are you perfect in the law? How are you perfect in anything? None of us are perfect in anything. The perfect one came and left, and he's coming back again. That's Yahushua, the good shepherd, the bishop of our souls. And even he said, why callest me thou good? There's only one good, the Heavenly Father. Come on, man. This is the permanent law for you, and it must be observed from generation to generation. Aaron and the priest must tend the lamps on the pure gold lampstand continually in Yahweh's presence. There's another hitter, all right? Is your menorah pure gold? Pretty sure it's not. Command the people of Israel to bring you pure oil of pressed olives for the light, to keep the lamps burning continually. The lampstand will stand in the tabernacle in front of the inner curtain that shields the Ark of the Covenant. Aaron and his sons must keep, it says the lampstand will stand in the tabernacle in front of the inner curtain that shields the Ark of the Covenant. All right, so right in front of that, it says Aaron and his sons must keep the lamps burning in the Lord's presence all night. This is a permanent law for the people of Israel, and it must be observed from generation to generation. So, there really, honestly, it would have to be shift set up, just to check on the light to make sure it didn't go out. All right. Because if it was getting low, you're going to, they have to do whatever was necessary to keep that light burning. All right. But yeah, I mean, there you go. A very, very quick chapter. It's only about 21 scriptures. We ran through it fairly quickly because it was mostly just reading, the measurements of what was going on. So we have here plans. As a matter of fact, let me get the KJV. The bronze altar, court of the tabernacle, and then, well, we didn't get the last one here, but when you go back to NLT, it says light for the tabernacle. So there you go. Light for the tabernacle. All right. What it says, the outer court. Plans for, I went back to NLT. Hold up. This thing here. All right. So we don't, I don't know how we got over here. Jumped too far. Here we go. The bronze altar, court of the tabernacle, and then light. All right. For tabernacle, however you want to word it there. All right. Court of the tabernacle, the bronze altar, the court of the tabernacle. All right. And light for the tabernacle. Bronze altar, court for the tabernacle, light for the tabernacle. All right. So that's going to end Exodus chapter 27. So Lord willing, you edify to next time. Yahshua going to say shalom.